What is up, people?
What up? What up?
What it do, man? We got one of the best weekends of college football coming up. I know week one is always fun because at a conference and everything, and it starts out with a bang. But now we're into conference play, where these games really, really matter. So, um, it's going to be a really great weekend, man. A lot of games to talk about. Obviously, there's three big ones: the ranked opponents and the top ranked opponents, obviously, but there's some sleepers in there too. Like we always say, if you like college football, you need to have three TVs on this weekend. So, uh, but anyway, appreciate y'all tuning in. Neo, what's up, buddy? Hit the like button for your boys. We appreciate it. So, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Like you said, great games going on this weekend. I think that's what's got me excited. I think,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I mean, of course, the biggest one people are looking at is the Bama Tennessee game, but there's also a few others. So just continues to make the entire day of college football exciting once again.
Yes, it does. It does. We're gonna get started on these pick'ems. Probably be about an hour show, maybe a little more. Who knows? But um, we're just gonna go down the list. We're not gonna talk about best matchups first, or vice versa, or last. But we're just gonna go through the list. But number one on the list is Michigan and Penn State.
Oh,
Penn State ranked
man.
number 10, Michigan ranked number 5. Top 10
Uh,
matchup we got here.
I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
Well, these teams are both very kind of similar. I mean, they have both top running backs in the Big Ten. Nick Singleton, a true freshman at Penn State. Blake Corum is an absolute monster at Michigan. J.J. McCarthy. I have two stats that I wanted to just say. J.J. McCarthy has the highest completion percentage on the move, on the run. There is that stat, and Penn State's defensive backs, their whole, backfield core is given up, I think, 49% completion percentage throughout their games so far, throughout 6 games.
Okay.
None of these teams have really played any other good teams. Penn State blew out Auburn, but Michigan, obviously this is the toughest game so far in their whole schedule. What's up, Millis? How you doing, man? This is going to be the spread on this is 7.5, I believe. It may be 7 now. The spread's really tough. I'm not going to pick yet. I'm going to let you go, but it's just going to be interesting that both, like I said, both really, really hard-headed rushing attacks on both sides, and J.J. McCarthy kind of a dual threat here. So one other thing I did want to point out about Penn State is yet to, with Sean Clifford and James Franklin. Sean Clifford's been there like 6 years now. They have yet to win a really big game like this. Michigan's ranked number 5. I think James Franklin's first year he did it, but like I said, it's a whole new team now with Sean Clifford and everything. So Penn State just never really gets it done. And what I was talking about, they beat Ohio State his first year, but I don't know, man. This was a tough one to pick. Well, what are your thoughts on it?
I think we both agree on this. Michigan struggled their first Power 5 game. They played 3 straight Group of 5 teams, felt pretty confident about themselves. They struggled, then turned around and struggled a second game, and then turned around and struggled a bit against Maryland. They're showing that even against the lesser teams, they're still not able to dominate from start to finish. And I know that doesn't say a lot. There are a lot of teams that struggle with that, but I think Penn State comes into this game with a statement, trying to prove a statement. James Franklin has a lot on his back. Not saying he's in the hot seat, but he really, in his eyes, this is a top 5 win. I see him coming into this game like he's not losing this game. I just don't see him coming into this game.
You don't think so, man? It's tough, man. Sean Clifford, like I said. So what about the spread? What would you think? Would you pick Michigan to cover 7 then?
Ooh.
Or not cover? I mean, Michigan's favored by 7.
So,
no. So that doesn't really matter. But since you're picking Penn State, I'm going to pick Penn State in the points. I think Michigan still wins this game, just because of the Sean Clifford factor. And Michigan, they're learning how to throw the ball better. Every week they have J.J. McCarthy. And like I said, that on the run completion percentage, that's going to give any team in the country a fit. So, yeah, I'm going to pick I think Michigan wins this game. It's
Okay.
in Michigan. So, wait, is it in Michigan? Yeah, it's in Michigan. This place is going to be packed. Penn State has their whiteout and their toughest 3 games of the schedule the next 3 weeks. So,
Gotcha. This is the start of a gauntlet.
this is the start of the pretty tough gauntlet for Penn State. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to take Michigan, man.
All right. I like it. I mean, it's
Shout
just
out
a close
Nate.
game. Definitely a close game. Just because
Yeah.
it's at Michigan, so that gives them that 3.5. So in reality, it is a small pick 'em. So
It was 7. Yeah, 7. So
I know.
it's right at a touchdown.
I was saying with it being at Michigan, they give them the extra
Oh, I
3.
got you. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, so
that's no,
that's it. Yeah, you're right. That tells you kind of what they really think about this game. It's pretty 50-50, just a few point spread that they would pick if it wasn't going to be such a big home crowd.
Yeah.
Have you seen that clip of when Penn State went into or Michigan went into Penn State for the whiteout and first play of the game, it was so loud they couldn't even get the play off? Have you seen that clip?
No, I've not.
You have not? Man, that's an iconic clip. I mean, that whiteout was insane. Michigan couldn't even get the call. I think it was might have been 2017 or 2018 or something.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that at all, dude.
Yeah, it was nuts though. It's a cool clip to look at. All right, next game could, depending on how you look at it, could be a snoozer or could be interesting. Auburn and Ole Miss.
Woo. We saw Ole Miss struggle the first half against Vandy. I think they were down 13-3, if I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
But they ended up coming back and blowing Vandy out, which we know Ole Miss has more talent and more depth than Vandy. But it's still good to see Vandy put up a fight. Auburn, I believe, has a little more depth, but definitely has more talent than Vandy. But I would not be surprised if Vandy won this game. Where's it at?
Ole Miss.
Got
Ole Miss.
I wouldn't be surprised if Vandy came in and tried to upset them, but Ole Miss is undefeated, and Lane Kiffin's mind right now. He, along with the rest of us, they think that Bama looks a little shaky this year. So I know Lane is trying his best to.
Oh yeah, he wants to be undefeated going into it.
Yes, he wants to help himself out the best he can, and so I really see him mustering up a lot for this. Not saying gearing up and forgetting about anything else, but I just see him being on his P's and Q's for this game, and I think they win. I don't know what the spread is, but I think they cover the spread.
That's a good point. I don't have the spread pulled up for this one either. Yeah, I don't know, man. Auburn, obviously, Auburn has their problems.
I meant Auburn.
I know. Yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah, I know what you meant. Because Ole Miss played Vandy last week, it got you confused. But Auburn's got Brian Harsin on the hot seat. Tank Bigsby can't carry this team on his own. This is probably the year he gets fired, winning this game or not. I could see Auburn making it interesting, but at the same time, I don't know, man. I think Ole Miss might make a statement, like you said, and just blow Auburn out, just like Georgia did last weekend. And so, yeah, I'm gonna take Ole Miss pretty big in this one.
Well, you see, Auburn doesn't have a rush defense. That's exactly what we did to them. And Ole Miss this year is more of a rushing offense. So
they are. They got the Robbie Ashford kid or whatever his name is in for Auburn.
Yeah, and you got Zach Evans. I really think that Ole Miss is gonna. Yeah,
I think that's exactly. Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think that's exactly what Ole Miss does. It just pound it right down their throat. Pause. Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're gonna do. All right. This is 3 in a row. I'm not skipping. I'm not doing anything. But Kansas at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's favored by 7 against Kansas. Kansas's quarterback got injured. Jalen Daniels.
Did see that. I did.
Yes. The backup came in last week and kind of just cleaned it up, and it was no problem. I don't know if maybe the scheme is just really good for Kansas, that the backup can even run it pretty well and have success. I don't know. There was also reports that this guy isn't even hurt. Something came out on ESPN or whatever. This guy's out for the season. And then he tweets out, well, I've never heard of this. So is he really out? I don't know. But
See what you're saying.
I feel like they're taking that into account. Oklahoma's been getting kicked while they're down the past 2 weeks. I mean, look absolutely atrocious. Oklahoma is the most disappointing and bad looking Power Five team that I can think of off the top of my head.
Dang, son.
I mean, they are.
My boy
No
just said
defense,
Oklahoma.
can't tackle. They played 5 quarterbacks last week against Texas because Dylan Gabriel was out. And I think that's why this line is the way it is, because Dylan Gabriel is back.
Okay.
And the Kansas quarterback isn't. So that's why I think that line is that way.
Now, I will say this about the TCU Kansas game. Daniels went out. He was 5 of 10 for 89 yards when he went out. The backup came in 16 of 24, 262, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at
not
all.
for a backup. Definitely not
Yeah,
for a backup.
no. And I mean, Kansas is they're a physical team this year. So this one's going to be interesting to watch for that reason alone. Mayhem Matthew, how you doing, man?
But you're saying though it's at Oklahoma, which kind of. And what's the spread? What's the spread on this?
I think it's 7. I think it's 7.
So
Or
kind of the
6.5
same
or something
thing
like that.
as the other.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there.
This is tough because if their quarterback is out, I still want to choose Kansas based off of, that quarterback. I don't think that Oklahoma's defense is going to magically be a lot better, this coming week. And
Correct. I
I mean,
don't either.
but at the same time, TCU, put up 41 on them, and then now all of a sudden TCU put up 38 on Kansas. So TCU has a strong offense. I just believe that Kansas has played against stronger offense and defense than what they're going to see out of them.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So I'm going to have to go Kansas on this one.
Yeah, man.
I really want to go Kansas by 10 points, but I think I'm just going to go straight Kansas.
Yeah, I know. I kind of feel the same way. This is going to tell us a lot, too, about how Brent Venables has that locker room. Like I said, being absolutely kicked while they're down the past 3 weeks. If they come out here and fight and play decently well and they look like they still have a little bit in them, that'll be something to pay attention to. But I'm going to go hot take here. I'm going to say Oklahoma wins this game. I'm going to say I'm going to go ahead and pick that. I'm not going to pick the points, though. I would pick Kansas in the points. I don't think it'll be a blowout by any means. I'm going to go with the hot take one on this one, though.
Now, I will say about the whole, will Brent Venables have the locker room together? He knows as well as we all know. First year, you're trying to implement your system. You're a defensive coordinator. Like we all completely understand that. But do your players understand that, and can they implement it? If you come out and you win this ball game, if you win this ball game this year, it will truly show us how you're changing the system, but also that your players were able to forget about last week that quick.
Exactly. What does it come down to, TB? It's culture and buy-in at this point for Oklahoma. That's exactly what they're playing off of, because it ain't hopes of the Big 12 title. It isn't even hopes for any type of good bowl game now. So,
would you not say that it's in preparation for the SEC as a whole?
What do you mean by in preparation, though?
I mean, like
watching them get beat this bad? Is that what you mean?
I'm saying having Venables, I really feel he is trying to recruit, because he hasn't got his full first class in yet, but he's trying to recruit a defense full of players that can compete in the SEC. Now, I know people are like, well, he can't even compete right now in the bit. And it's like, bro, he doesn't have his own players. That's what I'm saying is he trying to have a 2 or 3 year loaded roster full of his recruiting classes. That way, when he jumps into the SEC, it's not a shock. It's like, nah, we ready.
That's a good point. And to that point, I mean, that's exactly, in my opinion, why they hired Brent Venables as a defensive coordinator, because they knew, I mean, going into the SEC, you don't play defense and you get drugged. You will get drugged.
I know. Agreed.
Okay, Daniel, stop it. We know Florida's going to beat LSU just as bad as Tennessee did. Come on. I actually don't think that, by the way, but we'll get to that too. And look, we'll make this one kind of a quick one because, like I said, I'm going down the list. This is what 5, 6 in a row, 5, I think.
Yep.
Minnesota at Illinois. Illinois is very sneakily good. Their running back is a monster.
Well, their
They run it
defense isn't
18,000 times a game, but he's a monster.
their defense isn't bad either, though.
It's not. It's really not. Brett Bielema has got them looking decent with absolutely no talent up there too.
I may be wrong on this, but it really does feel since the whole, of course, transfer portal, but then now the addition of NIL and the addition of people moving conferences, like all the rumors and conspiracies, it seems like coaches, if they were complacent, they're not anymore. It seems like a lot of these coaches have gotten off their tail and like Illinois, that's what I mean. Like teams like that who were pretty good, but now are starting to like, all right, we got something to prove now.
Example, Syracuse.
Yes, I was just thinking of that, dude.
And see, you know what I'm saying? I agree with that. As a side point, Baylor and West Virginia is on right now. It's 24-17. Baylor scored right before the half to make it 24-17. This has been a pretty good game too. I've been kind of watching it, so
I didn't even realize it was on, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, this whole week's just loaded, even on the weekdays.
That's pretty cool.
So, who you got for this? Minnesota, obviously. Muhammad Ibrahim, obviously can't, don't know how to say names. He's a beast as well. These are going to be both smash mouth, run the ball type games. Who do you got in this one? What?
Where's the game at?
It's in Illinois. But let's be real, it doesn't matter though.
Yeah, I really think I'm gonna go Minnesota. I really, really love PJ Fleck, their head coach.
Yeah,
like when I imagine myself as far as the style or personality of a coach I'd have, it's definitely a mix of that and kind of that Shane Beamer style. Like I'm gonna have fun. I'm not gonna become some old, wig wearing gravel, or gavel pounding on the. I'm not doing that, dude. I'm gonna have fun and I'm gonna enjoy it with players. So for me, Minnesota's gotten more hype this year than they have I want to say since he's been there. Like this is like one of their best years, dude.
In 2019, they had a really good year too.
As far as full year, so I agree. Can't say that now because the year's not over.
Was it 19 or 20? I don't remember. I think it might have been 20.
I just know these last couple of years, he's really trying to get Minnesota over that hype, over that hump. This is going to be a game that he has got. This is a must win if he wants to say at the end of the year that Minnesota's over the hump. You can't lose this game and then beat a good team. You can't be inconsistent.
Very factual. Illinois is ranked 24. Minnesota not ranked. This is going to be a big win for them. I'm going to pick. I got to go with the Fighting Illini, man. I'm on the train and I'm not hopping off till they lose. So give me Illinois in this one. I didn't check the point spread in this one either. Of course, very professional and prepared. I just want to add to that point though too. Do you not think that PJ Fleck needs to get the hell out with Minnesota?
The only thing
unless he believes he can make him on the elite program.
Well, Minnesota invested so much into him. It's one of those because they invested so much into him in his mind. I feel the way that PJ Fleck feels about Minnesota is the way that Mike Leach felt about Washington State. He stayed for way longer than he should have, but he just appreciated the offer that they gave him and he loved him so much. But I'm kind of on it with you. PJ is a really good coach. It's just really hard to build at Minnesota, bro.
It is. That's why I say that, and he'll get calls. I mean, people want him as a coach, so we'll see. Yeah, man, we're about to start getting into some really good ones too. Before we do, and the matchup we probably all want to talk about, Tennessee and Alabama. We got a quick one here. Miami at Virginia Tech.
Say what? Oh, snap.
Metallica, Alexa, play Metallica Enter Sandman.
Dude.
It's going to be nuts.
I'm going Georgia Tech. They are looking like a completely different team. They have life in them now, which makes me think
Miami. You meant
What?
Virginia Tech.
Oh, I thought you said Georgia Tech. I thought you said they're
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
Georgia Tech.
Virginia Tech. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm going Miami. These are
Are
two
you,
poverty
man?
programs right
Is
now.
there a
Yeah.
school? Is Miami better than any school in Virginia?
Uh,
James
there's a
Madison has entered the chat.
there's a handicap high school water polo team that I think
That's what I
Miami
thought.
could.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I could.
Uh, as much as I hate Miami, I'm gonna have to agree. I, I don't want to even get on a rant, but Josh Gaddis as an offensive coordinator is horrible. Tyler Van Dyke regresses every single week that he plays at Miami under him. But just too much talent on that team. If you lose this game, Miami's looking worse than we thought.
What do you mean worse? Yeah. I guess they look pretty
Well, I
bad.
mean, we thinking beginning of this year, Mario Cristobal, all these hires, Charlie Strong, and all this shit. Miami's going to be
Bro,
9-3, 8-4. Look at them; they're terrible.
listen, with all the crap that people give you about Billy Napier, calling him Sunbelt Billy, and you still do not call Mario Cristobal Super Mario, bro. Like,
I
come
know,
on.
right? I'm telling you, that's for
But,
real. Tell him, bro.
yes,
Tell him. Tell him. It's
especially
blue
since
chip
they
Billy to you, sir. It's blue chip Billy.
uh, nah, dude,
uh,
I like it though. I like it.
yeah. Daniel says
Daniel,
Virginia beats
you
Miami.
saw
Miami.
that too? I know, Daniel. I know, bro.
And it could happen, bro. That's the sad part. It could happen.
I know, but
All right.
20 years ago, Miami was good. So that's why
Yeah,
I'm
but
choosing.
yeah, 20 years. Yeah, 20 years ago. 20
Yeah.
years ago, exactly. Neo, I agree. I hate Miami too, badly, with a passion that burns right in here. I hate them.
I hope
All
Miami
right.
finishes the season in a casket.
Miami doesn't feel well.
Okay, my bad. All right, do you think?
All right, so I'm gonna let you go on about this one, and really, all I'm gonna kind of ask you is, how bad is Georgia gonna beat Vandy? What's up, CJ?
I
Oh,
kind of said this before. Pete had asked me, and I'm just gonna say it this way. I don't. If I have the standard of an elite team, if our team's supposed to be the best team in the nation, blah blah blah.
yep.
Nobody cares if you run the ball all over Vandy. You're supposed to run the ball all over them. Like, go in there and Stetson literally do some curls or some bench press before the game and throw the ball freaking downfield and be accurate. That's all I want to see. If you can't do it against Auburn, you can't do it against Missouri, you can't do it against Kent State, and now you can't do it against Vandy, bro, what do you think Bama and Clemson and all them are thinking? Like, oh, I can't wait to play Georgia. I cannot wait to play. Because now people are looking at Georgia, well, they just haven't really played a game that they can lose. They don't really play nobody. So it's like, stop giving them that narrative, bro. That's all I'll say. That's it.
Will Stetson Bennett throw a touchdown, and will Carson Beck play?
I think if Carson Beck plays, it's because we get up by so much. I think he'll play? Yes. But it won't be because Stetson plays bad. That will not be the case. It will be either if Stetson gets hurt, which I do not want him to get hurt by any means, or if we just get up by 35 points in the first half. Kirby's, he don't care to win by 60, which I like that. Hey, let your backups get work.
I agree.
like it.
I agree. So I agree with you. I think Stetson will throw a TD, and Carson Beck will get into the game.
I like it. Okay.
Georgia by 40 probably. All right, man. This is the one here. This is the one everybody's been waiting on, and everybody's exhausted already this week. And I guess we got exhausted as well.
You might have hearing about it.
Alabama at Tennessee.
Give
me your thoughts. We'll kind of go back and forth on this one because there's some interesting things at play here.
I will start out with this. I'll start out with this, and then you give me your thoughts before we start getting into the actual game. One, is Bryce Young fully healthy, or are they playing him because it's Tennessee and they can't afford to lose this game? After seeing what the backup did last week, is Nick Saban rushing? You see what I'm saying? Is he freaking out because he knows that the backup can't win this game? Does he really need Bryce? And is Bryce 80% healthy playing, or is he 100%? What are your thoughts on that?
The question is, or the answer is, I don't know, and I don't think anybody does, unless you're like a Bama insider. I think he will play the first drive and the first series is going to tell us as soon as he throws the ball, we're going to see if he's really, really healthy. With that being
I
said,
can
I
see
think the
that.
best option that could really catch Tennessee off guard and really move the ball for him is playing both. I think you play both
Yes,
of them.
I
You
like
put him
that
in for
idea.
package runs, RPOs, and hell, I think Milrow could even just you could just put him in for a gadget deep shot play, and it may be able to work. I mean, Saban is going to scheme for this game, so I think that could be a possibility. But if Bryce Young is actually healthy, they shoot him up with a bunch of shit, and he plays the whole game. This is going to be a hard game to win for Tennessee, a very hard game to win.
Yes. And back to your point on that, the difference about Milrow, the backup for Bama, whenever we've seen people bring in the Wildcat or like Georgia used to do the Wild Dog, and you knew it was going to be a run play, but it was almost a read option. With Milrow, it's different. He's fast enough. He's faster than probably any wide receiver on your team,
He
but
is.
yet he has an arm and he's actually a quarterback. If Nick will find a way, like you said, bring him in on certain, drives, on certain packages, and let him give off the effect that he's going to run, he doesn't have to throw the ball 40 yards downfield and get it intercepted. He can just take off towards the sideline and either get
Yep.
that 7-8 yards that they would love to have here and there, or throw it 10 to 12 because the cornerback bites. Like,
And he is
and I
just
see
so
what
good
you're
at that,
saying.
running on the outside.
Yes, but I like what you're saying though about the Bryce deal. You don't have to play Bryce the whole game if he is hurt. You just need him in there to run the offense.
And to
You
make the
know,
throws when you need to make them. I mean, there's going to be third down plays where they're going to need to make a crucial throw. I mean, that is an
I
absolute fact.
agree,
That is an absolute
and
fact.
that's when we'll tell. I
Mm-hmm.
agree. I think that's when we'll be able to tell is that third and long, is he fully healthy?
Yep. Yep. So let's look at kind of how these teams stack up. Alabama's wide receivers aren't exactly the best. Obviously, Bryce Young throwing the ball is a difference maker.
Yeah.
Tennessee's pass defense is probably it is the worst part of their team, so that could get exploited. Tennessee's run defense is actually pretty damn good. Which is why which is the whole reason I say you play both quarterbacks. By the way, is just because of the run defense for Tennessee.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bama's Jahmyr Gibbs is an absolute freak. He'll probably break off for an 80-yard touchdown in this game. This game could absolutely be a shootout. That's probably what it is. Over under should be at 80. I'll let you give your final thoughts before we pick, but there's just so many things. Like it's like if Bryce Young plays, Alabama wins. If he doesn't play, Tennessee wins. I think it's a little bit more specific than that, and there's a lot more things, kind of details to this game, and like I said, mainly how it's schemed for both head coaches.
Dude, that's a really good point. I guess a part of the scheme, I do not think, even though I know we're talking about it, so Tennessee should be talking about it. I do not think that Tennessee is planning on Bama playing two quarterbacks. I don't. I think Tennessee, in their mind, they're playing it the whole let's focus on us, and if we beat them, it's going to be because we score. And
Mhm.
I get that? Yeah, I actually do. Why would you waste time on trying to focus on that offense when your defense is not the strength of your team? And I get, well, we do want to try to slow them down a bit. Dude, Texas A&M just ran zone the whole game, and Milrow threw interception after interception. He
Mhm.
fumbled, he did all this and that. If Bryce isn't healthy, then you're talking the same unhealthy Bryce. You don't have to have the best defense in the world. But if your offense can be strong and Bryce Young is healthy, your offense is going to be the reason that you win, not your defense.
Speaking of defense, what Daniel said in the chat, Bama defense strong. Where
It is,
how
but
I mean, how
I
much are they going to
feel like they're
interrupt?
secondary.
How much are they going to stop Jalen Hyatt, Jabari Small, and Hendon Hooker? I mean, how much can they actually stop them? Bama's secondary was kind of targeted last week. One in particular was Terry and Arnold,
Yeah.
but you got Kool-Aid back there, Jordan Battle back there. Eli Ricks is even back there. So it's not like there's not the players there to do it for the secondary for Bama.
Agreed.
So
Agreed. And I do have to say
interesting
this:
thing too,
we
you
saw
know?
we saw in the Texas game too. They were targeted in the Texas game, and that's where
Yes.
you remember what I said about the South Carolina Kentucky game, that I felt Kentucky was a more overall complete team, but they had yet to face a real passing attack. That's not that they weren't good; we just have yet to see it. And then
Yeah.
South Carolina goes in there and they throw all over them. I think this is one of those. Bama could win this game. They
Mhm.
could. But this will be the first pass happy team that they saw besides a first quarter healthy Quinn Ewers. That's it.
Yep. I completely agree. Before we do the picks, how many yards do you think? Let's say Bryce Young and Hendon Hooker play a full game. How many pass yards would you give each
If
quarterback?
Bryce Young is healthy, I'm giving him and Hooker over 300. I think the
Oof.
under over, I'm giving both of them over 300. And the reason I say that is Tennessee plays fast pace, and I know dang well if the secondary is not up to par,
Mm-hmm.
Hooker's throwing 300 easy.
Oh yeah.
But he's also fast enough to give you 250 passing and 75 yards rushing just to get that extra few yards for a first down or I
That's
don't feel like Bryce runs as much. So
he definitely doesn't.
that's tough though.
Definitely
What do you
doesn't.
think? What do you think about that?
So I'm gonna go look. Everybody, look, even in the chat, CJ's picking Tennessee. Everybody's picking Tennessee, are they not? I'm going with the bold take against the bold take. I think Bama wins the game. I just
Okay.
think not only that, but what they did last year to Tennessee. What did they do? Now Tennessee is better this year. I'll give them that. But what did they do last year? It was a shootout until Tennessee's defense couldn't handle it anymore. They were too tired to even play, and there was no depth on
Agreed.
that team to keep up and stop Bama from scoring. So I'm not saying that's going to happen this game, but you got to think. You got to think about these things and take them into account. And like I said about the scheming thing, Saban knows this, so he's going to attack that and multiple other things. So I got Bama winning.
No, I like it. I feel you. Daniel, he thinks Bama's going to win, but I agree what he said about Milrow. Saban has got to play Milrow more like UGA plays Bennett. Quit depending on him to make these big long passes. Just let him make the short passes and let your talent do the work.
Mm-hmm. Get the athletes in
They're so
space,
I
and
think it's
it's a
because
wrap.
yes, and I think they're spoiled by Bryce being able to take deep shots. That's
Mm-hmm.
where that kind of comes into play. Like, man, we got to play different. So, anyways, I'm gonna go Tennessee on this. Is it at Bama?
No, it's at Tennessee. Tennessee's going to storm the field. The crowd's going to have 110,000 people. This game is going to be nuts,
Dude, I'll say
regardless.
this then. If they realize that Tennessee is going to win, you already know that they've planned on this. The SEC, Bama, they're going to be probably like 100 to 200 police officers out there giving a tunnel for Bama to get back into the locker room because
Oh
it's
yeah,
Tennessee fans.
yeah,
Tennessee fans
no,
are probably voted every year the worst fans in the SEC.
yeah. Mustard and golf bottles, bro. That's all you got to. That's all you need to know.
Bro, come
Yeah.
on,
So
man.
conclusion, we're both separated on this. I like it though. Um,
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, man. Cool.
Now, I don't know the score because I'm not going to do the whole score prediction and say, well, it's going
Yeah.
to be a close one. The reason I'm doing that, I think Tennessee wins, and yeah, they could win it close. But if Tennessee starts firing on all cylinders and Bryce isn't playing, I could see Tennessee making a statement. And they'll try to if they can.
I agree. I
They'll
I
get
think
forced.
Bama wins by 10, man. I think I don't know. This game could really either go either way, and it's going to be a great game regardless. So,
Gotcha.
we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. I like that, though.
All righty. Another big one. Just write down. Let me count how many more we got because we got to look at the time a little bit.
You're
There's two
picking
good
good
ones.
games.
There's two good ones three good ones back to back here.
Okay.
There's another one worthy of talking about. We'll probably skip. All right. Anyway, let's just go. Oklahoma State at TCU. Both teams undefeated.
Woo.
Another big matchup. This is the 2:30 time slot, 3:30 for you, Eastern gentlemen. Man,
Hey, this is probably the only game that I don't know.
I'm gonna agree with that. I like Spencer Sanders at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's defense didn't take a huge drop off after losing the defensive coordinator. TCU and their new coach is playing out of their mind. Max Duggan is playing
Oh,
some of the best
Duggan's nice.
football. He's playing some of the best football that I've seen. He doesn't make mistakes or throw interceptions. I think he only has one this year. I don't know. I may
Yeah,
be wrong on that. It might be two, but it's not. It's not many. And TCU's offense is just fast. They're fast. They're when you watch TCU play, they're all over the field, and that's how
and you
TCU ate Oklahoma, just like Texas did.
and you're to add to your point for you guys watching or people who watch later. TCU being fast compared to Tennessee being fast, they're two different. Two
Yeah,
different things.
yeah,
Tennessee plays fast pace, like no huddle, trying
right.
to shotgun ball. Like TCU just has athletes all over the field, and it's like if you're too far here or you're out of place here, like they make you pay.
Yeah,
And then the fact that
they
their
do.
quarterback is he's an NFL prospect. He's a high NFL prospect. Like dude's nice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He makes the
Yeah,
right play. He makes the right play a lot. It just shows his maturity.
it does. They're a really good team. It's at home for TCU. I'm gonna take TCU. I think they're like I said. They just their whole offense is fast and really hard to stop. I think they're going to be. This team could rematch for the Big 12 title. They look like the best two teams to me, do they not? I mean, Texas with Quinn Ewers maybe looks better, but they've already got two losses, so
I see
this
what you're
could be a
saying.
rematch.
Yeah, you can't go up to them and be like, "Hey, can we take those two losses out since
Yeah,
Quinn wasn't
yeah,
playing?"
I know our quarterback was out, but hey, man, just work with me here. Can we take those back? Just maybe one. Tough, man, tough.
We may be wrong and it may blow up, but I'm gonna go TCU.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Tennessee's ranked
going to
13. Oklahoma State ranked 8. I mean, highly ranked matchups this week.
to me. It
So,
feels like TCU
mhm.
needs it.
Yeah.
TCU needs this very much. I know Oklahoma State needs it, especially after last year. You were on the bubble of getting into the playoff. You had a chance and you lost in your freaking conference championship game.
Yeah. Yep. What about? We're not going to get into that, but yeah, by
Yeah, and it's just
the
that's
diving
one of those
pylon,
things.
man.
Yeah, they got to be able to prove it.
Yeah,
This is tough, dude.
I agree, but I'd like TCU in this one, man. I do. So let's couple these two kind of together. NC State at Syracuse, ranked NC State number 15, Syracuse number 18. What do you think about this game? This is another good one. Same time slot.
Man, I don't really like NC State, but I'm going to go NC State purely off the fact when good teams lose, not just teams that lose, but when good teams lose, they find the reason and they go to practice and they work on it because they don't want to lose that same way again. North Carolina State has played some really good teams. And I think going into Syracuse, I think North Carolina State has played a much harder schedule to this point than
They have, yeah.
Syracuse has. I know Syracuse, are they undefeated?
They are undefeated. NC State has one loss, and it's just Clemson. They beat FSU last week, though.
Yeah.
Debatable that they should have won that game, though.
I
Debate.
know. Don't get True Seminoles started, bro.
I
But
know, but
yeah,
yeah.
I agree,
Mhm.
dude. I thought Florida State should have won that game, but yes, I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go North Carolina State on this. I know Syracuse has a good quarterback, and I think you were the one that kind of told me about him. But
Yeah, Schrader. Probably the
yeah,
coolest damn last name you could have as a quarterback.
dude,
Schrader.
dude.
Other than AR-15, of course. What's up, Zona? How you doing, bro?
He said,
Uh,
"Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna go NC State too. I just think they're a better team. I think Syracuse finally meets their maker, but I love the story of Syracuse. I've watched Syracuse play. I watched them against Purdue, and it was just kind of flat. They're kind of just winning games and skirting by. I think they're going to get exposed in this game against NC
gotcha."
State, in my opinion.
I like it. No, I like it. I
So
agree, and it's nothing.
Arkansas.
It's not to their point.
No,
Just
go ahead.
you haven't really played teams strong enough to expose you on that. So it's
Yeah,
not. It's nothing wrong, dude. There's nothing wrong with it.
yeah, exactly. Um, I'm gonna actually pull their schedule up real quick, just so we can just check and see.
Okay.
But the next one, go ahead and start us off. I'll come back to it. But it's Arkansas at BYU.
Oh, okay. Uh, this is a I guess a tough one because yes, neither one of these teams are great. They both started out the year hot and then have slowly went into a decline. BYU and Arkansas, two programs that have been on the rise the last 2 to 3 years, mainly the last two. They're still trying to pull out a decent season to keep that, we've been pretty good for 3 years, that phrase. BYU knows they're going to be playing a much more talented roster in Arkansas, especially with the addition of Jaden Hazelwood and
Mm-hmm.
Matt Landers that came from Georgia.
Rocket Sanders.
Dude, yes, I really think
Bad man.
I think I'm going to go Arkansas. It's just because, like I said, I think Sam Pittman's very competitive, and in his mind, this is one of those like must-win games. Like you can't lose
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah. Let me tell you the schedule for Syracuse. So Syracuse blew out Louisville, barely beat Purdue, a bunch of nobodies, and they beat Virginia by 2 points. So yeah, you're absolutely correct talking about that schedule. First off, I'm gonna go Arkansas. I think they really need this. These are two programs at the beginning of this year were ranked pretty high and had high expectations. I mean, Arkansas kind of crept back into the game with Bama. Have played decently good all year, but it's just not the same really without Treylon Burks. And they have more pieces defensively, but look worse. And they have all the coordinators coming back, which in my opinion, are some of the best in the country. With that being said, BYU's quarterback is amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna take Arkansas though. I think BYU's kind of fallen off, and I think we talk about the culture and the buy-in and everything. I think Arkansas actually does have that, and they're not going to be discouraged after losing a few games. They'll still come out and play hard.
I agree. I think they've shown us that they're disciplined enough to put it behind them.
Yeah, facts. Mm-hmm. Now we could do Wisconsin at Michigan State, but those are two of the most boring teams in the Big Ten to watch. We'll skip that. They are, man. Wisconsin's terrible.
I know.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that another day about the coaches and everything. LSU in Florida.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Okay. You start us off on this one.
This is going to be a good game. LSU's had Florida's number for we're like 2-10 in the last 10 years. I mean, they've had our number. Even when you have better teams, better quarterbacks, better everything, they still manage to win. I think this is the year we finally come back and win this game. This is not going to be easy though. You watch Tennessee completely blow them out. I don't think that Florida's capable of doing that. Just don't have the offense for it. Now, we're going to see how Billy Napier likes to play this game because Jalen Daniels is a dual threat quarterback. Yeah, Daniel, I know you think that. Jalen Daniels is a dual threat quarterback, and that's been the Achilles heel of Florida's defense. Once the quarterback starts running on the outside or running draws and gaining yards, the defense just doesn't know what to do. They fall apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see if they try to get Anthony Richardson to throw the ball this game or they just lean on the run game like he likes to do. Florida, you know what I thought about earlier, TB?
What's that?
Every single game Florida has played, won and lost, has been one possession games. Every single one.
Really?
Every single one.
Does it occur to you then? I guess it occurs to me.
Florida. Even South Florida.
Do you think it's because Billy in his first year is trying to play everything super safe?
Not necessarily. I think that's how he coaches. He runs clock, runs the ball on you, and beats you, 26-14, 26-17, shit like that. That's just kind of the way he coaches.
Got you. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I think LSU is going to gain some yards on us, and it'll turn into points. I do think we win this game probably about a touchdown, maybe two if we get lucky, or maybe if we start airing it out all over them. So, but I'm gonna take Florida.
Okay. I'm not against that too. I'm not against that pick by any means. I think for me, the main thing to watch in this game, and that's why I asked you that about, do you think it's because he's playing it safe? The main thing to watch in this game is Billy going to not open up the playbook, but is he going to take some risk and let his quarterback go? I mean, like you said, AR threw for 450 yards the other day, but it was still a one possession game, so it was like
Mhm.
he needed to throw 450 yards.
You know how much he threw against Missouri?
How many?
66.
But and that's what I'm saying is, are we just trying to go in and run this this slow and time consuming game plan when you have a quarterback that can light it up? Is it time to just say, or are you just going to keep playing the rest of the year safe, just trying to get out of every game with a win? Like, if he can light it up, let the man light it up.
Yeah, throw the damn ball. Everybody says run the ball, throw the ball.
Yes, I mean it can't hurt.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, we're definitely capable of it. And LSU, to go back to it before you pick, because LSU's got the most inconsistent and unbalanced teams in the SEC, in my opinion. They just you never know what you're going to get.
Agreed.
But
agreed,
yeah,
agreed,
man,
agreed.
I got Florida. What do you got?
It's at LSU.
Nah, it's at Florida.
Oh, I'm going Florida by 10.
Night game too.
I'm going Florida by 10. Daniel Fax, he said the battle of the first year coaches. Your first year at their schools.
Yeah, give me Billy over Brian, bro.
Oh, the
Billy over
B&B
Brian.
game.
As in this game and as a coach, give me Billy over Brian.
Oh wow!
I wish I could drop this mic right now. So you got Florida?
Yes, I'm gonna go Florida.
Yeah, I got you. All right, we're getting to the nitty gritty, which we're pretty much just the end of the games here, but still some good ones. Another night game, man. If you, I'm gonna have 3 screens pulled up all day on Saturday.
Well,
Clemson
I told you about
Florida State. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm going to do my best to stream the Georgia, or really the Bama Tennessee game, but have the Georgia Vandy game in the background and just kind of call both. Like I said, just gonna do my best to get that going. So I'm excited too. I'm gonna have the TV on. I'm gonna have both my phones pulled up and my laptop going. Dude. Anyways, to your point, you were just saying you need to have 3 TV screens. Yeah, facts, dude. There's some good games this week.
Yeah, and yeah, for real. I have my phone on the TV show reacting to the damn game too at times, probably. I mean, but yeah, for real, that's going to be cool if you stream those games. Yeah, Clemson at Florida State. Our boy Paul is going to be at this game. Florida State just lost 19-17 against NC State. Probably should have won the game. Oh no, man. What do you think? I mean, Clemson's offense coming together. DJ's finally throwing the ball well. Florida State's run defense is absolutely terrible, which is where I think Will Shipley's just going to run up and down the field on them. Other than picking a Clemson blowout, do you have any other thoughts? It is in FSU. What's up, Luke?
This is a tough one because I've said since I've seen Florida State play, Clemson fans piss me. No, I'm just. I think Clemson wins this game by 2 touchdowns, but I'm not going to be surprised one bit. I actually not even surprised. I think Florida State will make this a game, but I do think Clemson will pull away. Florida State should have beat North Carolina State, which is now a top 15 team. Or who's the game before against Wake Forest? They played decent, didn't play good enough to win, but Wake Forest is a strong team. Well, Wake Forest exploited Clemson's one weakness, secondary. And it's like now going into this game, man, look, I really do like Jordan Travis. I do that. He's the best mobile quarterback that stays in the pocket to me. He doesn't.
I agree.
Like he's just fun to watch. I mean, heck, we've seen a lot of college football over these last couple of weeks. He is fun to watch, dude. I like Drake May.
Yeah,
I like him too, but
love Drake.
I'm going to say that I think Jordan Travis gives Clemson troubles, but I do think that Clemson pulls away due to just talent and depth.
Talent and defense for me. Now,
Yeah.
yeah, like Luke said, Will Shipley might rush for 200. That's absolute facts. Whenever any good running back against Florida State's defense, the defense just parts like the Red Sea, man, and it doesn't make any sense. But like you're talking about Jordan Travis, I do like him. To be honest, this year a lot. The receivers, even I think his name's Terry Wilson, is a beast at Florida State.
Oh, you talking
What's
about
the
the
one?
6-7?
What's the weakness of Clemson's team though?
To me, it's secondary, and
Secondary.
we've
Secondary.
seen the 6'7" dude receiver, and I think that's who you're talking about, Terry or Johnny Wilson, whatever his name is for Florida
Something like
State.
yeah, I forget his first name,
Man,
but yeah,
that man had like 180 something yards receiving one game just because they
he
couldn't
did.
stop him.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily, and that's what I'm saying. I could see Florida State going, we need him to have a big game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I want to pick Clemson in a blowout, and like I even said, I kind of didn't give them a chance. But you are kind of right. If they scheme and plan and game plan for the offense, but the problem is Clemson's D line and how fast is he going to have to throw and sit in the pocket? I don't know.
Now, I want to add this too. We thought Clemson's front seven was really, really good. Wake Forest ran on Clemson's front
Uh-huh.
seven.
A little underwhelming, right?
So they're now granted, I'm not dogging Clemson. I'm just saying they're a little more mortal than we make them out to be. So I don't know. Like I said, I think Florida State makes it a game, but I do think Clemson pulls away. And if you're a Florida State fan, you don't have to win this game to feel good about your program. You know, if you go in and you lose by a touchdown or two to a top 5 team, or what are they, 4 right now?
I think so. Yeah. Michigan's 5. Yeah, Clemson's 4.
Yeah, bro, if you go in there and you lose by a touchdown or two to the top, number 4 team in the nation, Florida State fans, all they need to do is boost their recruiting class. They had a good one this past year. If they go ahead and do well in this game, they can prove that they've been able to stay in these really good games. And like next year, they're going to be looking for blood against North Carolina State, against Clemson, against Wake Forest. Like,
Yeah.
so that's it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, and let's just be real. They don't have the talent as far as depth goes as Clemson does. At Florida State, that might hurt them a little bit. But, yeah, I do like the Clemson pulling away take there. I think it could get interesting, obviously, like we're talking about if Florida State can throw the ball and attack the DBs, especially that Wiggins dude. Guys on a
Yes.
milk carton. But yeah, I think Clemson pulls away, and I'll take Clemson Clemson by about 7 in this one.
Okay. Oh, okay. I like it. I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll
Mm-hmm.
say yeah. I think it 10. I think 10 to 14, somewhere around the two touchdown range, or at least 2 scores. But yeah, I could see it being going into the fourth quarter still being a game.
Yeah. You want to get on the next one, man? I think this might be the last. No, it's not. There's one more good one. Oh shit, I didn't see that one.
That's fine, dude.
All right.
This is
Yeah.
what I'll say this real quick before we even start it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you were talking about the other day about like doing these in going from game to game and being able to split up each one into separate videos. Like
Yeah.
we have gone through this super quick and still we're 51 minutes in. Like
Super quick, specific. Yeah, man.
I think that was a really good idea. And with how this is going, I actually love that idea, dude. So you can go ahead.
Yeah. I agree. Plus, it's just fun, dude. I mean, it's just fun, especially with weeks like this, man. It's just fun.
Yes.
Next one, man. Damn. I already know who I'm picking for this, but this is a good one. Mississippi State at Kentucky. Another ranked matchup, dude. Another one. Mississippi State ranked 16, Kentucky 22. Kentucky coming off a loss. Voice crack.
Yes.
What up?
It's okay. That good.
Yeah. Mississippi State looks really good. Yeah, Mississippi State looks really good. Is Will Levis playing in this game? I think he is. Obviously, Kentucky
Well,
coming off a loss to South Carolina last week. I think Will Levis was out for that game. Mississippi State looks better than well, they're gradually getting better, and the defense is actually playing defense. They blow some people out and that kind of thing. Like LSU. Yeah, no, I think Mississippi State blows the top off of Kentucky.
well, I said it earlier, but definitely want to go over it just again.
What's that?
Kentucky,
Oh yeah, go
Kentucky,
ahead.
their question mark was, can they play well against a pass happy team? We do think they're an overall complete team as far as like all across the board. They are average to above average in every category. But
Yeah.
it does seem now their one weakness is, I'm not going to say the secondary as far as talent or as far as depth or anything like that, but they do not scheme well against pass happy teams. Now, does that mean that they could have learned from the South Carolina game and go, we need to do more of this?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no. I'm going to say no because what
Mm-hmm.
you told me earlier about old Stoops getting mad at Shane Beamer for some of his antics and saying that that's not how you build a culture and him being a hating old head. I'm going to say he sticks to his ways because he's stubborn and he's ignorant. And Mike Leach goes in talking about Bigfoot and aliens and beats him by 30, bro.
Bro, facts, man. Look, he is old head, bro, and that's to your point. He hasn't thrown the ball at Kentucky since he got Will Levis, and he still don't throw the ball that much. I mean, he
Thank
sticks
you.
to his ways. He plays smash mouth football, good defense, and strong offensive line, and runs the ball and chews clock, and that's all he knows how to play. It seems like. And
Yeah.
if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, I was gonna play it on the show. I just couldn't find it and pull it up, but. Mark Stoops at SEC Media Days was talking about how Shane Bieber came out of the media days with the glasses on and the Soldier Boy and hop about the bins. And he was saying, that's not how you build a culture, blah, 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 kind of talking shit. So after the game that they beat, South Carolina beat Kentucky last week, post game in the locker room, he puts the glasses on, kind of makes fun of him, throws a little shade, and then turns the damn song on. The locker room goes crazy. Cool clip if you want to look it up. But so,
That's
yeah.
awesome, dude.
Hating old head ain't gonna recruit old head ass. So I agree
Well,
with that.
and I just think Mike Leach is one of those, like, how I kind of told you off the air just how I feel about going into this season for me and how excited, but also ready to prove to people type deal. I think Mike Leach is one of those people. So if he has the chance to make a statement on you, he's going to. Like, he's going to throw the ball 50 to 55 times, whether he's up by 50 or he's down by 50.
Yeah, facts. Mm-hmm.
So,
And
yeah.
I think they'll throw it all over Kentucky. I think they will.
Yeah.
It's in Kentucky. I don't really care. Just think Mississippi State's just kind of on a roll. Mississippi State's looking forward to that Georgia game, and they don't want to. That they're going, they need to get the team chemistry together. So they're going to. It's going to be just another week that they get there, in my opinion.
I like it.
Oh man, now this might be the last one. We'll go through the list just to see if we missed any. But really big matchup here. Big matchup. USC at Utah. Utah is favored with 2 losses by 3.5 against undefeated USC. It's at home for Utah. Let me ask you something.
Ooh.
Is USC a fraud, or are they actually as good as they're being hyped up to be?
I'm going to say yes and no. I think we've seen that Lincoln Riley he's a scorer. He's going to score. So even if they give up 30 or 40, if they beat you, and we've seen it at Oklahoma, if they beat you 48-40, it still goes down as a win.
Mm-hmm.
So now, are they the number 6 team in the nation?
Hell no.
That's debatable. But I'll be honest though, dude. I think they're easily a top 25 team. I think they're a top 15 team as far as in an argument, but they're going to have to play some more people to solidify that argument.
Yeah, I agree. And as far as putting up points goes, Oregon State 17-14. I think the offense is really good. Travis Dye transfer from Oregon, Jordan Addison transfer from Pitt, 2 of the best wide receiver and running backs in the country, and of course Caleb Williams. But other than that, I mean, you're kind of he's really went there and tried to piece together a team with the transfer portal, and we've seen it can work at places like Ole Miss. Lincoln Riley doing it at Southern Cal. So I do think they are a good team. Absolutely not number 6. I think they are overrated. I do think they lose this weekend to Utah. Utah, like we're talking about, another point, certain teams we just have to say this about. They have the buy-in from their team even when they lose, and that's what Utah is. Utah, when's the last time they went undefeated? I mean, I could never tell you. So, but they always are a good team even when they lose games like they did last year early in the season. So I think Utah wins and USC gets kind of exposed, and that's kind of my thoughts on it. I mean, and with USC in general, they just need to obviously they need their defense needs to get better. They need to recruit better. And but Alex Grinch, I'm not sold. I don't know why he brought them there from Oklahoma, and I don't know what the deal is there. And with all the people you could have got, you bring him there with you. So
I know. What's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think Utah's going to expose USC. I do.
If it becomes a
they're a
3.5
point favorite at home, and like you said, you give them about 3.5 on the road, or at home, as far as the spread goes, just for being at home, this is a pick 'em game. It's a close. It's going to be another really good one.
I think I'm going to pick Utah, even though I'm going to say this. It definitely depends. If it's a shootout, I would go USC. If it is a close game, not close, but if it's a smash mouth game, Utah's winning all day. But
yep,
we'll find out how good that USC offense is literally this weekend. We will find out everything we need to know about it.
Yes, we will. 2 more points. Utah, like Daniel said in the chat, Cam Rising is a good quarterback. He's not a world beater or anything, but he's a very solid quarterback. And Utah has 2 of the best tight ends in the country, and Dalton Kincaid and Brant Keefe, or Keefe. And they're a mismatch problem for teams like this right here. So that's going to be a weakness for USC. That being said, this is USC's probably their biggest test. I don't think they play UCLA. I have to look and see, but other than UCLA, this team is going to be their biggest test of the year, and this is going to control whether or not they can. Well, let's be real; they're probably going to the Pac-12 championship, but playoff appearance in Lincoln Riley's first year is what this is on the line for this game. So I do think Lincoln Riley knows that, and he wants to win it. But I'm just picking Utah. I think they have matchup problems. They're a good defense, and I think they'll shut USC down. But it's going to be a good game and a close one.
I agree completely. I agree completely, dude.
Yeah, man. Did we miss any other games here? Shout out to Luke. UNC's wearing the Chrome Dome helmets. Those look pretty fire. Those are going to be cool. There's a lot of we talked about this before about the uniform thing. I've only seen some of them, but there's been a few that are coming out this week. Mississippi State is rocking all whites. Ole Miss, I think they're doing something similar. Oregon's doing, what are they doing? The
the breast cancer awareness.
Yeah. So it's black uniform and pink accent. Looks really nice, honestly. Who else is doing it? I don't know, but there's some cool ones.
It actually looks really good, dude.
It does. It does. Question: do you think if a team, let's say, like Mississippi State is playing Kentucky, right? Yeah. Mississippi State's got the all white uniforms and everything. Do you think, and just this is any team in general, do you think when they dress out like this, that makes them play any better, or what do you think it does for the program and stuff? Do you have any thoughts on that, or does it just really not matter?
Bro, this question is such a okay. Like everybody always asks Kirby about the black jerseys and this, and his mind, and from what he has explained, and I understand it, even though personally I like the jerseys, the different jerseys, he feels that if you need the jerseys to be able to get up for a game, then your standard is not where it needs to be. You're focused on the wrong things. But in my mind, it's like you should be able to reward your players, but I do get it. Maybe it hypes you too much up about it makes you hype it hypes you up too much about the jerseys.
Hmm.
And I don't know. Maybe if it was one of those where you knew that week, maybe that Monday or Sunday that you were getting the jerseys and you had all week to kind of let the hype die down and just let the hype be for the fans.
That's a good point. It could do two things. It could hype you up and to where you get too hyped up and you get upset, or it could make you look good, feel good, play good, that type of shit. So it could be either one of those things. I do like what you
Yeah,
said about the Georgia uniforms. I think the way Oregon does it, it's way too much, even though they do come out with this cool like breast cancer thing. So I do like that, but I think they do way too much. There's a few other teams, but alternate uniforms, I think they're great for recruiting. And I think personally, the other ones I do like is the military appreciation one where they put the flag on the helmet and everything and the logo. I do like those a lot.
that is pretty
And
cool.
yeah, they are fine. I think really you do like one of the military things once a year and maybe an alternate jersey once a year, and that's it. I don't think you go overboard with it like some of these teams are doing.
Now, this is another question. I know we're not trying to take up too much, but I want to ask this. Um, I think that whole real tree deal that, who was it? Mississippi
Oh,
State?
Ole
No,
Miss.
not Miss,
Ole
Ole
Miss,
Miss. Yeah. Man, I
that's
think
cool
that is
shit.
an awesome, yes, because I think it adds such just a huge factor to college football as far as like, I don't know. I don't know. It's not,
Well, yeah, yeah.
I don't think it's for the players in the sense of hype, but I think if we're talking NIL and
I was
fishing
just
owns
about to
a
say. I was just
yeah,
about to say that.
fishing owns a fishing company, and he's like, well, hey, I'll sponsor you guys. How much does it cost to sponsor? Well, the gold, we'll put your logo on our helmet, but it costs 5 million a year or 2 million a year. Guess what, Ole Miss?
Sponsor
I got
uniforms.
money to you got money to distribute to your players.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, and you see at Ole Miss, I mean, they obviously don't have a big NIL system, so things like this can actually matter for their program. Because
oh,
because they don't get much NIL elsewhere. That's why they don't have the top recruits, and then you see this all over college football. Now, I don't know the analytics of if they sponsor a uniform or if you do things like this, and there's other examples of this too, just in college football with teams and everything where they get NIL money, but I don't know the analytics or anything, but I think that's where smaller programs or programs that are not on the rise as far as financially, I think it can help them out. I don't see why it wouldn't, right? I mean, they got to be making something for wearing it on a helmet and
well,
sponsoring it.
and this isn't targeted towards Luke, but I'm saying this in a way of, North Carolina, they're sponsored by Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Like their logo, they wear the Jordan brand.
Yeah, so it's
So
Florida.
it's like, yeah, okay, and it's like, don't you think Jordan pays them? Like Jordan pays them money to have their logo on those jerseys in front of all the people that get to watch those games. And I know it's more for basketball. Florida, it's more for football, and I get that. But it's the same thing as Nike paying people to wear, hey, pay it. We'll
Well,
wear Nike jerseys.
the thing I will say to that is they probably pay the school though. The sponsor
No, and
thing is
I
probably the
completely
NIL
agree.
deal. You know what I mean?
But and that's I agree, and I'm sure a percentage of that goes to football. But now football can say we can get something specifically sent to us.
Yeah.
We can wear, you know, you got 100,000 people at every game. You got people on TV watching, like, oh wow, look, Ole Miss is wearing these real tree. That dude just said real tree on live television during a football game. So it's like,
With 500,000, watching whatever.
so
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
I mean, hey,
No, I agree, Luke, but I'm not complaining. I'm not saying that the sponsored uniforms are are not a big deal. I'm saying it in a way of this allows teams. Georgia doesn't have. We're not worried about NIL. Like we don't have trouble with it. NIL comes easy to Georgia just because of they're the number one team in the country. But what about teams like Ole Miss, like he said? What about teams like Nebraska or even Minnesota with PJ Fleck? Like you
yeah,
have a chance
that's
to
true too,
help.
Luke.
You have a chance to. No, I know that, Luke. I'm saying in a way the same player teams have gotten Nike uniforms forever as well, but
Yeah, and we're
now
not.
adding
Yeah,
a sponsor. I'm
Yeah.
just saying teams like Ole Miss now have Nike jerseys, I'm sure, but now that they can get sponsored, that helps them out to be able to pull a player that was going to go to Texas A&M because Texas A&M was paying them a lot of money, or
Yeah. And
Texas was paying
yeah.
them.
In the general scheme of things, look, it really doesn't matter. But as
Yeah.
far as like, we're kind of digging deep and talking about the program and everything. That's kind of why I wanted to bring it up because it's just interesting to think about. Um, now, what I should have done is did some research and find out how much these schools are making and stuff like that, and where the money actually goes. That's what I should have done. But just the food for thought kind of convo about the uniforms.
No, I mean you're absolutely right. I think I told you this. The Golden State Warriors, their jerseys are made by Nike, but they're sponsored by a company in China that is also like partnered with Steph and Clay. So now that company pays the Warriors, even though they're wearing Nike jerseys, and it's like
Hmm.
that's why the pro teams they do whatever they can to make money. That way contracts can be cut shorter, but they can still pay players the same. You know,
Yeah.
me and your contract can be cut short a little bit so we can pay more people. And I think that's the same thing that goes for these smaller schools. Like who is it?
Yeah.
The Tennessee and the $8 million quarterback or $6 million quarterback. I'm sure you wish you had a little more money to pay everybody else instead of throwing all your money at him. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
cool though.
I'm
I
just
didn't
trying
know
to
that.
look
That's interesting.
I'm just trying to look at it from another team's perspective though.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Well, hey, bro. I mean, we kind of rolled this thing pretty hard, quick, and fast, man.
Yeah, that was they definitely sweating, bro.
Do you want to do a top 5 uniform in college football, or do you want to we can do that another day?
Ooh.
It might be hard to do
That's
a
a
top 5. Just
Hey,
what
we'll do that another day. That
yeah,
way we can
we'll think on
actually.
that.
That's actually a really good idea, dude.
Yeah. All right, give me
Okay.
one as a preview. Give me one of your favorites,
Oh
and not your team.
no, I got you. It's a tough one. It's biased because I love the color blue.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go with Kansas. I
You
freaking
like
love their
Kansas?
jerseys,
The
bro.
blue and red. Is
Yes,
that the
dude.
kind of?
That
Oh,
that
okay.
I love it, dude.
Yeah,
What you
Luke said
thinking?
UNC at one. I do like the UNC Cool Blues and the Ole Miss Cool Blues, but I ain't gonna get
Well,
into it.
that's what
But
I was
I'm all
thinking.
yeah.
I was
I
thinking either Kansas or blue or North Carolina.
yeah. I'd say Michigan's the navy
Oh,
with the
okay.
yellow helmet.
Yeah.
I like those a lot.
Well, the thing is with North Carolina, that not football, but basketball wise, like I was a huge Roy Williams fan. Like back when Tyler Hansborough was at North Carolina, dude, like I fell in love with watching North Carolina basketball. I lived, breathed it, all of it. And like that North Carolina blue, bro, like that's yeah,
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah, I like it too. I like it a lot. We'll talk about that another day, just for shits and gigs, or maybe like an off season type thing. But
I do like that idea though. I think that'd be a cool video.
yeah, for sure. Well, Paul, hey, we try to be unbiased, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw Paul's comment.
Oh,
But nah, dude, I like it. I thought today was this was nice, dude.
yeah, just man, quick,
I
easy, to
like
the
that.
point, man. I like it too. Um, well, you want to get out of here, man? Shit. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, hold on. Did Baylor just win? Is this game over? I think they did. 37-20, 37-34. Hold on.
Wow.
Let me get my glasses on. Hold on. Oh, hell no, it ain't over. 12 minutes left. Wait, no, I'm tripping. 8 minutes left. 37-33. It's a good game. It's a good game. Of course, Luke is watching the NFL. Is Luke, real quick before we go, is Justin Fields hurt? I saw you comment that.
Yeah, I did see him say that, dude.
That would be a shame. Throwing that poor man out there with no O line, no receivers, nothing. What a damn shame.
I know, dude.
Just so he can get
Well,
hurt like Joe Burrow, but play way worse than him.
facts.
Man.
I have seen people saying that he should request the transfer, but I give him props for just like trying to prove himself as far as like I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah, I mean, they're all quarterbacks make so much damn money in the NFL now. They go in and they try to really prove that they're worth the money and worth the contract. And
At
when you're
least
giving a shit
the
team,
second.
man, you're just giving a
Yes,
shit team.
agreed.
Yeah, Luke might be out of here. Well, let's kick it, bro. Let's dip out.
Let's kick it.
Let's kick it.
No, I'm cool with that, dude. Thank you for
All right,
having me
people.
on, sir.
Oh no,
This
hey,
was
yeah.
this was fun, dude.
Yeah, hey, I agree. I agree with that, Billy. All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate everybody coming in. Anybody that watches it back, anything like that, we appreciate if you hit the like button. And if you're new, you can subscribe to. Definitely check out Tiger Baskin's YouTube channel. We do this show every Saturday nights, and it's starting to become kind of maybe like a Thursday thing, or just whenever we can. So stay tuned for that. And let's get out of here, bro.
Let's do it. Thank you, dude. Appreciate all y'all. And y'all have a good night.
Y'all have a great night. See y'all later.